instead of just focusing on building the biggest building in town, they focus on being the biggest building in town by tearing down other buildings. Okay. This is what gossiping is all about. So it is completely deadly. It's a deadly way to be speaking. It's a deadly thing to tolerate in your life and to partake in. What's up, legends? Welcome back to another mini episode. And in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about the 5 deadly ways of speaking that you need to avoid. My name is Morgs Nelson, and this is the Dream Out Loud podcast or YouTube channel, wherever you are. Guys, if you're brand new here, hit subscribe, leave a review, share this with a friend, do all those kinds of things, and buckle in because this is going to be an epic little episode right now. So why do I want to talk about speaking? Why do I want to talk about words? Because here's the thing. Your word is your wand. Write that down. So your word is your wand. Literally the words that we create, the things that we think and how we express it out to the world, to the universe, everything has a vibration. So does us, right? And different language has a vibration. In fact, there was actually a study that they did. Get this. There was a study that they did that they wrote words, right? So they wrote words like love. They wrote words like hate, ignore, sad, and happy, and things like this. They wrote it on a piece of paper. They put a glass of water over the piece of paper. They let it sit there for, I forget how long, let it sit there for a couple of days. And then scientists actually went under a microscope and observed the water. And you should have seen the shapes and the differences in each set of water. So all the molecules and stuff in it completely changed and were completely different, even though it all came from the same cup of water, right? They all came from the same bottle of water. They were completely different in each one. And if you looked on the one that had love written, the words were under the microscope came like really flowy and like really just like gentle and loving. The ones that said hate were jagged and looked like bits of glass in there, and similar for the other ones. So isn't that insane? Okay, because water has vibration, words has vibration, things have intention. So when we're writing things and saying things and thinking things, we have an intention behind that with a feeling and a thought. So wouldn't it be good to start getting clear on the things that you need to start saying and things you need to stop saying to increase your vibration and to get better things happening in your life? That'd be quite good, wouldn't it? Great. So we're going to dive into these 5 things, okay? So the first one is to cut out gossiping. That is number 1, okay? Because I'm going to touch on this one for a bit, because here's the thing. What is gossiping, okay? Because sometimes people are like, well, I need to talk to my friends about it. Here's the thing. You can absolutely vent. If something goes wrong, if somebody pisses you off, if there's an incident, I do believe that you need to vent to someone, okay? To get it off your chest and speak if you choose. I know people that don't, they just let these things roll off their back like water off a duck's back, okay? But I also know some people, if big issues happen, then they want to speak about it. Here's the thing. Choose highly qualified people to have this conversation with, ones who will hold you at a high standard, okay? So I've got 2 main people in my life that I go to for if I've really got to talk about a problem. I go to these 2 people because they'll both tell me honest truth, if this is your shit or if this is somebody else, and how we can sort of work through this together. They will not let me be at effect of it. They will not let me be like, oh, poor you. They're going to help turn it back on me and be like, well, how have you created this? Because everything comes back to taking responsibility. So here's the golden rule. If you've got to tell more than 3 people about it, then you're gossiping. So cut the shit out, okay? Because gossiping is only for one reason. It's to try and tarnish the other person and to try and manipulate an audience or manipulate a group of people or manipulate someone else's opinion of that person to make you look like the better person. That is the only reason why people are out there gossiping and talking about other people. So instead, if you've got a problem with somebody, have the conversation with them, okay? And if you have someone come up to you and they're gossiping about other people, guess what? As soon as you're not around, guess who they're gossiping about? You. So here's how I deal with gossip. If people come up to me and they're like, oh my God, did you hear about what Bob did? Did you hear about what little Sally did? I say, no, but Is it an issue for you? And they're like, oh my God, yeah, let me tell you. Da, da, da. And then now they're trying to convince me as to why this person's so bad, right? They're trying to convince me to look at them from their perspective instead of letting me create my own perspective based on my own internal beliefs, right? So here's what I say. Hey, have you told them about this? And they say, no. So, oh, would you like me to help you have a conversation together to resolve this? And they're so uncomfortable about it. And they're like, no, great. I don't want to hear about it. Right. And a lot of the time, people aren't really going to like that, because they're like, oh my God, he made me feel like an idiot. He made me feel like I was bitching. Well, guess what? Maybe because you were. Okay. So cut these things out of your life. So think of it like this. I also see people gossiping and talking about other people. Okay. And there's another reason why people do this, because we all have these 6 human needs. One of the 6 human needs is significance. We have a need for significance. We have a need to be seen, need to be known, need to be better. Some it's for higher for other people, some it's lower for other people. So for people who are massively driven by this, and people who love gossiping and talking to other people about other people and trying to manipulate them to believe what they believe to turn other people against them as well, because that's what it's all about, is they're doing it for this reason as well. It's because they want to be the greatest. They want to be the best. They want to be seen as the biggest, the best, right? So instead of just focusing on building the biggest building in town, they focus on being the biggest building in town by tearing down other buildings. Okay. This is what gossiping is all about. So it is completely deadly. It's a deadly way to be speaking. It's a deadly thing to be having in your life, to tolerate in your life, and to partake in. Okay. Now I will be the first to say, sometimes this still does come up for me. However, when I do it, I catch myself and I'm like, oh my God, either I'm talking shit, and if it's not for any purpose, just stop it now. Or if there's actually a problem, call the person and have a conversation with this person. Have that hard conversation. Be like, hey, this is really on my mind and I don't want to talk to other people about it. So I want to talk to you about it. Right. You'll grow through hard conversations. Okay. Number 2 is blaming. Okay. Number 2, blaming people. This is the thing I mentioned in the first one. Okay. So when you take radical responsibility in your life, you've got no one else to blame except you. Okay. So that's what this is, such literally a superpower. Because if you put all your blame onto other people, if you're continually blaming the government, if you're blaming COVID, if you're blaming your partner, if you're blaming your family, your kids, your mom, your dad, your boss, your husband, your neighbor, your whatever, then you're putting yourself in the problem. You're creating a problem. Therefore, your words, your language is creating problems in your life because you're blaming other people for what's not happening in your life, for what's not right. Okay. So if you catch yourself and you're blaming others, if you're saying, well, I would have such a happier relationship if my partner doesn't drink so much. Guess what? You choose that. So you can choose to be in that relationship, or you can choose to not be in that relationship. Okay. But what you should stop doing right now is blaming other people and other circumstances and situations for your lack of results or lack of happiness or lack of the things that you want in life. That might be a hard pill to swallow for some of you, but guess what? The truth will set you what? Free. So number 3 is negativity. Okay, this is a good one. Okay, so cutting out negativity. Why would you want to cut out negativity? For other than the obvious reasons, is this: negativity is the biggest source of just being an energy sucker. Have you ever been around someone who's a complete energy vampire? And when you're around them, you're like, oh my God, I just feel crap after hanging out with them. Perhaps you can think about it, or perhaps you might have even been that person 1 or 2 times in your past. I know I definitely have. Okay, but here's the thing: negative people have a problem for every single solution. They have a problem for every single good situation. They're the people who look at things and be like, oh, the glass is half empty, or this, or that. And what happens is they're just sucking all the good energy out. They're sucking all the joy, all the juices of life out of the moment by just being negative. Okay. So here's a couple things that you may be doing that you're not even aware of. So let me tell you this: the subconscious mind. Okay, the subconscious mind does not process negative words. So it does not process negative words, right? So the word not. So if you don't believe me, I want you to don't think of a blue tree right now. What did you just think about? Did you think of a blue tree? We'll try it one more time. Do not think of a blue elephant. Oh my God. If you did think of a blue elephant just then and you thought of a blue tree, then keep listening and share this video and subscribe and do all the good things, because that's exactly how the mind works. It does not process negatives. Okay. So what happens is when we say things like this, what happens is, and consciously we can overwrite things, okay? But we do have the thought. And if a thought happens, we create a feeling. And a feeling changes the way that our body acts, okay? So have you ever been around somebody, and Australians are really bad at this. You've been around, especially an Australian person, and you say, hey, how are you? And they say, yeah, you know what? I'm not too bad. Think about that. What is it actually saying on the unconscious mind? It's telling you, hey, I'm too bad, right? Or not bad, or that says I'm bad, right? So think about things like this, and how often do people do these things? Hey, don't do that. And if you're a parent and you have kids, especially under the age of 7, they're just a little unconscious mind walking around, so they don't understand negatives. So if you say things like, hey, don't slip over, all they hear is slip over, right? Hey, don't fall over, don't fall off, right? All they think about is falling off. So you want to say it exactly how you want it, okay? So when I'm talking about the negativity, here's some things that you could be doing unconsciously without even being aware of it. Think about this. When you're around people and they say things to you like, hey, how you doing, man? Say, hey, I'm not too bad. All they hear and feel is you're too bad. And it doesn't leave, and they might not be aware of this, okay? And you might not be aware of it, and perhaps now you are. But if you're around some people and just the way they talk, the language they use, you're like, oh, I just gonna feel worse around this person, okay? Because they're just doing things like this and they're not even aware of. So instead, change it to something like this. Say it exactly how you want. So instead of saying, I'm not too bad, say, I'm freaking amazing. Or, hey, I'm great. And here's some things I do. Even if things are quite shit, like the other day, I was having I think like a little while ago, last time I was sick, I think I was really sick all week, and people like, oh my God, how have you been? I say, you know what? Um, it's not, I'm not having the best week. That's what I said. They say, hey, how's your week, man? You know what? I'm not having the best week. So to them, I'm telling them I'm not having the best week. However, how it lands in their unconscious mind, how it lands in their feeling is I'm having the best week. And it also is starting to trick your mind to tell yourself that, hey, you're having a great week. See what I did there? Okay, so be aware of the words you're using. Another reason why all these things are bad, especially gossiping, is because our unconscious mind has no idea if it's real or if it's fake, or if we're talking about somebody else or talking to ourselves. So when we start gossiping and talking about other people, we actually think our unconscious mind believes that we're speaking about ourselves. Okay. So there's another reason to cut it out. Number four words to cut out, ways of speaking to cut out, is justifying. What justifying is you pretty much making excuses as to why you don't have the things you want yet in your life, why you are not where you want to be, yada, yada, yada. Well, I could go and hit that goal. I could have that house. I could have that car. If only if I hadn't have gone to university, or if I had have gone to university, or if I had have grown up in a better household, or if I didn't make those mistakes, if I didn't marry so young, if I didn't have kids, if I didn't, and there's just bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Okay. And there's just all these excuses. That's what justifying is. And so why justifying is bad is because it's shifting responsibility again. So when you justify, you're giving someone else the responsibility. And responsibility stands for the ability to respond. Okay. So if we're talking about your life and you're giving away responsibility, you're giving away the ability to even respond to the problems or the issues or the situations in your life. So wouldn't it make sense to take as much responsibility as you possibly can? Wouldn't it make sense to take as much ability to respond instead of reacting or shifting to somebody else to everything in your life? Imagine what would happen in your life if you start taking radical responsibility right now for all the good, all the shit, and all the ugly that you have, that you've had, and what you're going to have in your life. Because when you put it back onto yourself, you're in complete control to steer the ship where you want it to go. Number 5 is complaining. This is the 5th one, the big one. Complaining. Okay. This is an energy vampire yet again. Okay, what this is literally just, have you ever met those people that even when it's going great, they've still got something to complain about? It's like something just doesn't go the best, and they're like, oh yeah, no, but at least it could have been like this. It could have been, sure, but it's not. So why even bother thinking about it, talking about it, right? So yet again, perhaps you know people around you that are doing this. Perhaps you're doing it, or you've done it in the past, because now you're not going to do it anymore, are you? Right? This is just, you're going to stop complaining now. Okay. So the biggest thing about this is just being an energy vampire. It's like one of those people that are in the room and they're just complaining about things all the time. It's like, oh my God, is this person ever happy? Are they ever grateful? Okay. So if you want to stop your complaining, think about this. Turn your frustrations into appreciations. Okay. Because when we're frustrated, we complain, right? But if we look at what we're frustrated with in life and we look at it and we go, well, how can I be grateful for that? How has this happened for me instead of how is this happening to me? And we start to create more magic in the moment. Okay. So turning it into, taking full responsibility, stopping the complaining, and all that. Okay. So there we have it. There are the 5. Okay. Number 1, cut out gossiping. Number 2, cut out blaming. Number 3, cut out negativity. Number 4, cut out justifying. Number 5, cut out complaining. The last thing I was going to say about complaining is the only reason we complain about things is because things or people have not met our expectations. We only complain when things don't meet our expectations, right? So if you didn't have expectations, you'd have nothing but gratitude for the thing, wouldn't you? So imagine just getting rid of false expectations on your partner, on your kids, on your family, on your friends, on jobs, situations, your business, on yourself. Imagine if you just got to enjoy more in the moment and you tapped into these 5 things and completely got rid of them out of your life today. Cool. Guys, I love yous. Have an amazing week. Good to see you back here again, my legend dreamers. If you're not yet in the free Circle of Influence Facebook group, hit the link below. Join the free Facebook group. Join the community. I do live Q&As and stuff in there. And if you got value from this, guys, share this to your story. Share this on YouTube. Subscribe, like, review, do all that shit. And share this on Instagram. Tag @MorganT.Nelson. And let me know which one of these 5 are you most guilty of. It's okay. I'm not going to tell anybody and I'm not going to judge, but tell me which one you're most guilty of and which one you are committed to really completely taking out of your life now. All right. I love you and I'll see you all in the next episode.